Hey fish friends, Zenzo with Tazawa Tanks back with another video. So today's topic is just something that's been kind of on my mind for the past couple of weeks, the past few weeks actually. And before I get started, I want to apologize about my voice. I'm still recovering. I've had some kind of a sinus cold, and I had some little procedure on my lungs a couple days ago. So not quite full power in my voice. And also I have these back spasms right now because I was doing my powerlifting earlier today, and so if you see me kind of twitch real quick, that's the reason why. So anyway, there's been something that's kind of been, I don't want to say bugging me, but I just kind of have been observing some behavior and some stuff in various Facebook groups, forums, and also a lot of, even comments on YouTube videos and things like that. So I thought I'd just kind of, put in my 2 cents, and hopefully I'll reach some of you, and hopefully you'll agree and kind of, continue down the right path as far as our fish keeping hobby, which is a wonderful hobby. So really what it stems from is where you get your information. So there are, thousands of fish keepers all over, well, there's more than that, obviously worldwide, but there's, hundreds of thousands of people in the aquarium hobby all over the country and all over the world. And what that means is, in some cases there are people that will give advice that really isn't maybe the best advice. There's I think people, generally want to give good advice, but if someone's new to fish keeping and, they're learning how to, take care of animals in a, aquatic environment, and are learning animal husbandry, they're looking for people to help them with, the nitrogen cycle, or, what type of fish should I get for my tank, or, stocking questions, is this tank the right size, and things like that. And while there's a lot of good advice in a lot of these groups, and generally the good advice comes from usually, the moderators of the group, because those people are known to be kind of establishing a hobby and have a lot of experience, or even the creators of those groups. So, but what ends up happening is there's, a lot of times someone will post a question, and all of a sudden you're getting all these responses from all these people, and it's not always the best advice. So really, my advice, or kind of, the soapbox that I'm on right now, is I would just caution you on where you're getting your information, and really ensure that you're getting your information from a reliable source. So if it does happen to be from somebody in a Facebook group as an example, kind of look to see, go through that group, that page, and see if that person kind of has some credibility, or if they're a moderator or things like that, or if you're able to somehow ascertain that this person really understands the question that you're posing, and can give you an intelligent answer that's going to help you. So the other thing that I would advise is, don't always go to the internet for advice. So unless you're going to someone's specific page, if you're going to be on Aquarium Co-op's page, or John Hudson's, KG Tropical's page, Tank Talk, or, Joey or Rachel, or, those people that really are established in the hobby, unless you're going to one of their pages, and there's some really good ones, Benno Chart, and et cetera, et cetera. So I would just say, unless it's one of them, or like a moderator that's providing the advice, just take it with a grain of salt, and maybe not go to the internet for your information unless you're just doing some research. So if you are, if you really do have some questions, it's great to speak to somebody. Usually every, medium-sized to larger metropolitan area has some type of aquarium society or fish club, so you can always go to their meetings or join the club. There's a lot of expertise there. Also going to your local fish store. So I'll give you an example where I was in the hobby many years ago. My oldest daughter just got her driver's license, and this was before she was born, when I was kind of really getting into fish again. I had other tanks when I was younger, but when But anyway, I was in a hobby for a while, and this was way back before, uh, maybe not before the internet, but it was before it was prevalent, and there wasn't as much information out there. There wasn't a YouTube or anything. So I got a lot of my information from the local fish stores, and talking to people that had been in a hobby for a long time. And then I got out of the hobby for a little while and was doing some other things. I always kept fish. I usually had some betta tanks and things like that, but not to a large scale like here. But and then again, several years ago, I really jumped back into the hobby and started buying tanks and really getting immersed into this hobby again. And I went to a local fish store and talked to the owner and started to get some really good information. And the reason I bring it up is so obviously I've been in the hobby a long time now, and I feel like I know a lot about the hobby. I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to know everything, but I've been around for a while. I have a aquarium service business. I take care of other people's tanks, etc. So I do understand the hobby pretty well. But I was at a store. We were doing kind of a store tour. I was with kind of another famous YouTuber and was tagging along, and we went by the store and was talking to the owner, and he was just giving me some information on the history of where we live. I live in San Francisco, and he was telling me about the water supply and how it's changed and when they went from chlorine to chloramine and things that he's seeing. And this guy's been in the fish keeping hobby since, well, I'm 42, and he was in the hobby before I was born. So he has a lot more knowledge than I do, obviously. So anyway, it's just even though I like to say that I'm pretty knowledgeable in the hobby, there's still things that I learn all the time. I learn from reputable people. I would just caution that when you are getting advice, to make sure that you know who you're getting it from. IFG has a kind of a saying, and I don't know it verbatim, but basically he says on every on most of his videos or all of his videos, towards the end he says that his opinion is just one opinion. Kind of take it with a grain of salt. It's just an opinion of someone on the internet, and the most important opinion is your own, obviously the person watching. So kind of in that context, when you are watching video content, or you are on a Facebook group page, or if you're on some type of forum, just make sure that you are getting good advice. And there are some wonderful people in the hobby, and just to kind of list off a few, obviously some of the bigger names I'm sure you're aware of, like Corey McElroy from Aquarium Co-op, Bob with Steamthought Aquatics, John Hudson, KG Tropicals, IFG, who I mentioned. He's great when it comes to like haps and African cichlids. Steve Poland is also really big in African cichlids. Jay Wilson. There's also other pages like Aqua Pros, where it's kind of a more larger look at fish keeping and planet tanks and things like that. And there's channels about shrimp, etc. Rachel O'Leary, she's got a great channel and a lot of information. It's always fun to watch her in her fish room. Guys like Justin with Justin's Fish Tanks. Dustin's Fish Tanks. Of course, Joey from the King of DIY, etc. So there's a lot of great information, a lot of great channels out there. And really it depends on what type of what part of the hobby you're into. So obviously all those people that I mentioned are really freshwater, although they do some saltwater. Those people that I listed really focused on freshwater. If you're watching this channel, you're probably a freshwater person as well, probably African cichlids, but at least freshwater. If you are into reef, there are also some really good reef channels. I forgot the name of them and I didn't write them down, and I was when I was kind of into doing some saltwater, and I had some saltwater stuff here before. There was a couple of really good reef channels that I was watching, but I'm sure if you're into reef, you know those. But anyway, just make sure that you are getting good information, that you are getting it from the right source, and again, just take the information with a grain of salt and really investigate and do your own research, and that's really how you learn. So even if I tell you how to do the nitrogen cycle, that's just what works for me and what's worked for my tanks. It doesn't mean it's the best way. A lot of other hobbyists have other ways. So really you want to do your own research, understand, as an example, how the nitrogen cycle works, and even get some books, or go into various informational websites that aren't just an opinion, that are providing you factual information. so that you can get that information and come up with your own either hypothesis or method to answer your questions. So anyway, I hope that helps. I kind of just rambled on. I didn't really have any script or anything. I just wanted to get in front of the camera and kind of share kind of what I've been seeing recently, and wanted to share it with all of you. So again, this is just my opinion and my advice on how to improve your own experience in the fish keeping hobby. Whether you're a beginner, whether you've been in the hobby for a little while, or if you're a long time fish keeper and an old timer and very experienced, I think we could all learn. So even me, where I've been keeping fish on and off for, I don't know, 25, 30 years, give or take, with kind of little gaps in between, but for a long time. I always learn. I learn every day. I probably spend, I don't know, a couple of hours a day, watching YouTube channels. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I watch YouTube, just to go through all the different channels and see what's going on, and again, try to improve my own knowledge base. So anyway, hope that helps. And please, as always, love to read your comments. So please comment below. Please give it a like if you like it. If you don't like it, of course, if you give me a thumbs down, that's cool. That's, but tell me why, so at least I know. Because it's, if someone doesn't like a video, I don't take it personally, obviously, because this is just going out to the public. But I do like to know, what could I have done better? Did I give misinformation? So anyway, thumbs up, hopefully. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. That's cool. And but of course, comment. I love to read your comments. I reply to all of them, or I try to. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm really trying to improve my content, have more content, and I'm investing in a new camera pretty soon. Actually, I told my wife I need a new camera for Father's Day or my birthday, but the kids know and my wife knows that I want a camera, and I need a bunch of equipment, and I need new lighting, stuff like that. So anyway, I'm always trying to improve the channel. So and if you have any suggestions on what you'd like for me to cover, please let me know. Just either shoot me a message, or put something. You can follow me on Instagram. That will be down below in the description. So you can send me a direct message on Instagram. I'll put my Facebook page down there too. I have one for my business, for my fish keeping business. So I will. You can send me a message there as well, or just put a comment in the video below and just give me some ideas on what you'd like me to film, or if you'd like me to go somewhere or see anything, and share it with you. I'd love to do that. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.